from the start, or through your life experiences, that a lot of who you are is dependent on how other people see you, or what their opinion is, or what the right thing by society's measure is to do, not necessarily lining up and figuring out what is just you and figuring out what's right for you. Your identity is tied up in the people around you. Who you are isn't just centered on your relationship with yourself and who you're supposed to be, and then interacting with other people from that centered space. Instead, you're dependent upon. That's why we get so mad when people say things and it hurts our feelings, and because you're all tied up in that. So your relationships, whether it's your children or your parents or your spouse, those are part of your identity. And there's a little bit that's true of that, even when you're really good at staying in yourself, right? Because if you have a relationship, be it a child, a parent, or a spouse, that's long, or even a really good friend, there's such a fabric of your life, right? But when we haven't learned to really center our lives around who we are, and grow from that space, and understand that that's not selfish, that's actually a gift to everyone around you when you're able to do that, then the crisis when you lose somebody is so much bigger. You're not just grieving the person who's not there, you're grieving that part of you isn't there, and you don't know how to cope with that, what to do. This person that validated really who you are, a part of who you are, a big part in a lot of instances, if we're talking about, significant grief, is gone in from here, from that person you could talk to across the table. And I think that profoundly impacts how we handle grief, and we don't even know it. A lot of the getting stuck is, and a lot of the anger and is that I don't want to start over. I don't want to live a different life. I want, you're going to have some of that no matter what, but it's so much more profound when your identity is tied up in that other person, which is how we've learned, how we've been taught, what society considers normal. I mean, and that's true even when you're grieving a divorce and other things, right? Your vision of your whole life just changed when you came to the conclusion. It's one of the reasons we struggle with those kinds of decisions. We should, I mean, because you really want to know whether that's the best decision for you and everyone around you. I'm not saying that, but it's very hard to get clarity in the sense that you've got everybody else's identity all muddied up in those decisions, instead of being able to be clear about your identity and where you are. And if you're very clear about your identity, a lot of times it changes the path that you need to go. We make those decisions and we are not clear at all about who we are. And we're often very angry or sad or confused or hurt with what's transpiring between us and the other person, without having got control of our part of it, right? To make those decisions. So we still have we take that person with us. We take that mess with us, and we can end up in another relationship just like it, if we don't unwind all of that before if we just think it's the other person's fault and we can just find a different person and it'll be okay, we can't get there, because we're still the same person in that relationship with the struggles that we were having.